Okay, today I'm talking about how to ask questions and keywords for compound sentences. The first way of asking questions is simply by raising your voice at the end of a statement. It's usually a yes or no question and is usually like a guessing game to ask questions to people. For example, tu es de Dallas? Are you from Dallas? The second form of asking a question is using est-ce. It's placed in front of a sentence or statement to turn it into a question. It literally means, is it that? It is equivalent to asking a yes or no question in English. Here's our placement. You put est-ce first, then your person or subject, then your conjugated verb, and your question mark. Here are some examples. Est-ce que tu fais tes devoirs aujourd'hui? Is it that you are doing your homework today? Est-ce qu'il se dépêche aller à son rendez-vous? Is it that he is rushing himself to go to his appointment? Note that I put a key at the bottom. Est-ce que is boxed, the verb is highlighted, and your person selects subject. There's a little picture guy on top. Okay, so there are some question words that you can add in front of a question to make it more specific and avoid using yes or no questions, simply. Quand equals when, à quelle heure, at what time, où, where, comment, how, pourquoi, why, qui, who, pour qui, for whom, de qui, about whom, avec qui, with whom. Okay, so our last way to ask a question is inversion, or Yoda speak. It's used instead of est-ce. Inversion is used by placing the verb before the noun with a hyphen in between. Note that when you use il and elle or on, and if the verb ends with a vowel, a T needs to be placed in between for liaison. And in the negative, the ne pas forms around the verb and the subject. The pronoun je is not used in inverted sentences at all. Okay, here's your placement. You put your question word first, your conjugated verb second, your person or subject third, and then you put your question mark or a place, direct object, etc. Here are some examples. Avec qui nagez-vous à la plage? With whom are you swimming with at the beach? À quelle heure vas-tu arriver au cinéma? At what time are you arriving at the movies? Quand va-t-il voyager au Texas? When are you going to travel to Texas? Note that this sentence does have a T in between va and il as a liaison. Okay, here are some examples using ne and pas and making sure you put it in between the subject and the verb. N'habitez-vous pas à New York? Do you not live in New York? Ne parle-t-elle pas anglais? Do you not speak or does she not speak English? Okay, so here are some keywords for compound sentences. These can be used at the beginning of a sentence or in between sentences to connect them. They're usually used to make more interesting sentences and more complex sentences. So here are some phrases you can use. Après is after, ou, or, parce que, because, mais, but, et, and, puis, then, next, que, that, donc, therefore, quand, when, ensuite, next. Okay, here are two sample sentences using compound phrasing. Quand je suis arrivée au lycée, j'ai vu mes amis. When I arrived at school, I saw my friends. And our last example is la fille est venue au supermarché et puis elle a regardé un film. So the girl went to the supermarket and then she watched a film. Okay, so I just went over how to ask questions using ESCA and inverted sentences, and then I went over compound sentences phrases.